I Do is about 50 years of married life, beginning on the wedding night, excuse me, and going up until the time the couple uh, retire and turn it over to a new young couple to go through the whole thing over again. It was written for Mary Martin and Robert Preston, and it was a big Broadway musical with two people in one set, kind of unusual. It had a good initial run and a good afterlife, thank goodness. And one production at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater in Minneapolis ran for 24 years with the same two actors in it. Hard to believe. Uh, Recently, I was sort of thinking, would be interesting just as an experiment, instead of just having the 50 years and all the different episodes with one couple, it might be interesting to see what it would be like to have 5 couples, age appropriate, and starting with like a young 19, 20-year-olds on the wedding night and ending with old geezers like me at the end. And then I'm thinking, then I thought, well, you know, if you really were to have 5 couples, it might be interesting to have some racial diversity, and it might be interesting to have a gay couple. So we put it together, and a year or so ago we did it at the York Theater, and it went over very well. So we're putting that into the catalog of music theater, and if anybody's interested in doing I Do, they have the choice with the one couple going through all the ages, or to have 5 age-appropriate, racially diverse couples. Anyway, well, I've been living with this show for a long time. I've always loved it, or loved most of it, but some of it I didn't love. Some of it kind of made me a little anxious. And I came to realize that there's a very thin line between verity and cliche. So in the last few years, I've been trying as best I could to kind of like shave away some of the cliche and trying to strengthen some of the verities. So I'd like to show you the kind of thing I've been doing. I will take a particular scene and then show you what it was like as originally written, and then what it was changed to, what it is changed to. It's the scene right before the very end. It's Agnes and Michael have just come back from their daughter's wedding, and the son is already married, and the house is empty. And Michael looks around and he says, suddenly, "This is the biggest house in the world. Hello there." And he's a writer, so he gets his stuff and goes into his studio to work. And she sits there and she sings a song called "What is a Woman?" And the end of the song, as originally written, she sings, "To be a woman means being lonely. That's why she's only alive when in love." And in the scene, she's very trying to find herself and very unhappy. And they're feeling useless. And he says, "No, you're not useless. You're my inspiration. I couldn't write a damn word without you," and so forth. And that makes her happy. And then the end of the scene, as originally written, she sings a song called "Someone Needs Me." All at once, I feel so alive because, you see, someone needs me. Okay, that's the premise that I was working from. So here's the changes. They come back from the wedding, he goes into work, she sings "What is a Woman?" and at the end of it she sings, "To be a woman can be so lonely. That doesn't mean she's only alive when in love." And he comes in with a few wrapped gifts. He says, "You know, I was going to save these for later, but what the hell, I couldn't get any writing done anyway." And she says, "Michael, I have to talk to you. I'm going away." And he said, what? I'm going away on a vacation? Not on a vacation, Michael, forever. You want to move into an... Agnes, what's the matter with you? She says, nothing's the matter with me. It's just that I can't what? I can't die behind the stove like a domestic animal. Oh my God. And she says, oh, you don't have to worry about it. You can go on riding. Your life really won't change that much at all. But I'm lost, Michael. You understand that? I'm lost. All my life, I've been a mother. All my life, I've been a wife. All my life, I've felt and thought and existed for other people. And I don't have the slightest idea who I am, what I want. Oh, today at the wedding, it was sinister. Everything was the same, except this time it wasn't me, it was Lizzie. And I looked at her face, so young, so vulnerable, and I thought, don't touch me. And he backs off. She says, oh, I don't blame you for anything, Michael. You've always done as much as you could, although you never opened a door for me. You always got in a taxi first. You never gave me, and he said, gave you, I'm constantly giving you presents. Hold on, let me have a drink of water. She says, yes, you've given me many wonderful gifts, but if once, just once, it had been one book that you didn't want to read yourself, or one box of chocolates that you didn't like to eat yourself, but nothing. And I don't think, go on, say it, I don't think I love you anymore. Oh, I feel so empty, Michael. No, that's not it. It's just the opposite. I feel so full. I feel so full of emptiness. All the places I didn't go, all the things I didn't do, all the feelings I had I never shared with anybody. And I can't go on like this anymore. And he says, I see. What are you going to do? Do you know? She says, I thought maybe I would write something, a book or a play. Does that surprise you? It does surprise me. Good. It's good to be surprised sometimes. Would it make you anxious if I did that? It might. Really? That makes me feel better already. He says, so, chapter 2. She said, no. For you, chapter 2. For me, chapter 1. I need a place of my own, Michael. He says, Lizzie's room and a desk, Mickey's, and a typewriter. You can have mine. I'll get another one. She says, maybe. He says, what are you going to write about? Do you know? Marriage. Marriage? A long marriage. Just two people. Nothing fancy. Just what happens. Does it have a happy ending? She says, I hope so. He says, I hope so too. You were my muse, you know. She says, I know. Now you can be mine. And he says, well, you'll need this. He gives her his thesaurus, which he always uses. And he says, oh, that reminds me. He gets the wrapped gifts. He says, I knew you would be feeling terrible today, so I went out and I bought you a book I've been dying to read, and a box of chocolates that just happen to be my favorite kind, but you like them too. But this is only for you. And he gives her, she opens it, it's a single red rose. And she says, Michael. And he sings, do you remember when we first met? It was growing dark near a flower market, and you wore a rose in your hair. She sings, I saw you smiling there by my side, and though I was shy, when I saw you smiling, all at once the world opened wide. And they both sing, thousands of flowers came down from the skies. Roses were growing right under your eyes. And the music swells, and the walls of their bedroom disappear, and the whole area is filled with images of flowers as they dance. And if you do the age-appropriate situation, the young couple would come in and dance also at the same time. And at the end, they have come back together and resolved their problem. So that's the difference. You see the differences, and you see what it's influenced by women's lib, and I'm grateful for it. I mean, I'm very old. I'm 92 years old, and I've lived a long life, and I've seen a lot of things change. And I'm not the fastest study in the world, but I do get it. You know, it took me a while, but yeah, I get it. Why can't she be the writer? Why does she have to just be the muse, the inspiration? Yeah. So I'm grateful. This scene, in my opinion, is much stronger than the original, and I believe it's more honest, more a verity than a cliche. So that's my little speech for today and my little scene, but I'm actually going to do one more, the final scene, and it's not germane to anything. It doesn't relate to any changes or anything. I'm just going to do it because I like doing it. And if you feel like it's going on too long, I understand, and I won't mind if you turn it off at this point. And I thank you for listening and for looking. And if you want to stay, stick around, and I'm going to do the last scene. Okay? It begins, they're obviously old, and he says, now Agnes, the car is coming to get us in 30 minutes. Are you ready to go? She says, yes, dear. All right. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. We don't have to take that little pillow with us, do we? No, dear. What were you planning to do with it? I'm going to leave it as a little surprise for the new owners. Such a nice young couple. A little surprise. Have you visualized that little surprise, may I ask? Why? A young couple coming into the nuptial bower on the first night of their marriage. They walk over to the bed, they pull back the covers, and they find a little pillow with God is love written on it, left there by your mother. No argument about it. She says, all right. Why don't you go take a look at the cellar? Why? To see if there's anything left there. Well, suppose there is something left there. What am I supposed to do with it? I mean, the new apartment's lovely, but it won't hold the stuff from one floor of this house. Why don't you go see if there's anything left in the wine closet? Now you're talking. And he goes off. She gets the pillow, puts it under the bed, covers it up. He comes back, says, Agnes, look, look what I found. Champagne. Must be left over from Mickey's wedding. So, do we have any glasses here? And she says, only the tooth glasses. Oh, only the tooth glasses. Well, go get them. But Michael, we can't drink champagne at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll be roaring drunk. That would be a fine impression to make on the doorman. Oh, I'd be delighted. I'd go up to that snob and I'd say, hiya, ho, ho, ho. And that brings back a memory from their wedding night. And she says, I'll go get the glasses. She goes off. He notices a lump at the end of the bed. He lifts up the covers. And he says, Agnes, did you put this back here? Yes, dear. Why, for heaven's sakes? Because, she says, I wanted to leave them something friendly. When I saw this very same pillow on this very same bed the first night of our marriage, I nearly burst into tears. Oh, you did you? Well, so did I. I saw that pillow and I suddenly felt I saw behind you, I felt I'd entered into a world of women. Yes, women. I saw looming up behind you the biggest trade union in existence. And if I hadn't been such a coward in my long underwear with my shoes off, I would have jumped out the window and run away. She said, that's a fine thing to say. Well, he says, you can laugh, you can cry, you can stand on your head, you can divorce me, but the answer is no, 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 no. And she says, all right, all right, all right. And they sit side by side. He says, when you live in a house for a long time, it gets full of ghosts. What about the new couple? What does he do, you know? He's a salesman. A salesman. Why not? So was I, although I never knew it. All those nights I used to lay awake dreaming I was William Shakespeare or Leo Tolstoy instead of just another romantic novelist. She says, that's all right, dear. You've given lots of invalids and old ladies a very nice time. He looks at her. She sings, this has been a very nice bed. Ever since we married, it has kept both of us cozy and warm. He sings, this has been a very good house. It has been our shelter, and it's seen many a storm. And they both sing, marriage is a very good thing, though it's far from easy. Still, it's filled this house with life and love. And a car horn honks, and he goes over the door. Oh, we're coming, we'll be right there. She's put the pillow back under the end of the bed. He takes it out. He puts it on her side of the bed. He gets the bottle of champagne. He puts it on his side. And he says, all right, I carried you in here, and by God, I'm going to carry you out. She says, no, Michael, no. And then she's backing off. He's trying to pick her up. He said, no, I'm going to do it. It's a matter of, it's engineering. I got to get the weight. I'm just distributed. And as the voices fade away, and that's it.